They say strength is a blessing. I say strength is a burden, especially when it's all you've ever known and all you are ever expected to be. My name is Oluwatamilore. People call me Tami. I'm 26 years old, and most days I wake up wondering why I still exist. I didn't grow up poor. In fact, we had more money than most people I knew. A mansion in Lekki, private schools, domestic staff, and two luxury cars in the garage. From the outside, my family looked like a dream. My dad was a real estate mogul, Alhaji Mufutau Akinlabi. My mom, a respected pediatrician in one of Lagos' finest hospitals. They were the power couple everyone envied. But inside the mansion, there was a quiet kind of pain that money could never fix. You see, both of my parents were AS genotype, and they knew, they were told, but they were so in love that they brushed off every warning, every red flag. They believed love would conquer science. They believed wrong. They had three children, me, the firstborn. Then came Kolade and Korede, the twins. Kolade and Korede were both SS, sickle cell. From the moment the twins were born, our home became a private hospital. There was always someone screaming in pain, always someone vomiting, always blood transfusions, drugs, emergency runs to the hospital in the middle of the night. And I was just there. I was the strong one, AA genotype, no hospital visits, no blood crisis, no need for help, just Tami, the child who made no noise and caused no trouble. And because I didn't bleed, I didn't matter. I learned to bath myself at 5, cook at 7, wake up before dawn, dress myself for school, and even help Kolade hold his hand when he was too weak to walk to the car. Mom was always too busy with Korede. Dad was always yelling into his phone, managing property deals. The only people who spoke to me were the maids, and even they pitied me. Once, when I was 9, I remember asking my mom a question that would change how I saw the world forever. Mommy, why don't you hug me like you hug Korede? She paused. Her eyes were tired, worn out from another all-night vigil by Korede's hospital bed. Tell me, you are strong. You don't need it. That was it. Love was for the weak. Hugs were for the sick. And I, the strong one, would have to be my own comfort. The first time I considered dying, I was 14. Kolade had just come back from another week in the hospital. Mommy was fussing over him. Dad had flown in from Abuja, all teary and dramatic. There were gifts, cake, laughter. But me, I was in the kitchen, alone, eating cold jollof rice straight from the pot. I found my way to the balcony that night and looked down from the third floor. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I was just invisible. I didn't jump, but that night, a seed was planted. Things got worse when I turned 17. Kolade died. It was a rainy Tuesday morning. Mommy had just rushed him to the hospital the night before. I had helped carry him into the car. His fingers were so cold. When the call came in, Mom collapsed. Dad threw the phone across the living room. And me, mhm, mhm, I stood there, still holding Kolade's pillow. They buried him 2 days later. It was a quiet funeral. No photographers. He was too young. No one noticed I didn't cry. They were too busy managing my mom's breakdown and Korede's new wave of pain. Korede never recovered from Kolade's death. He barely spoke after that, refused to eat, cried in his sleep. The doctor said his own crises would become more frequent now. Psychological triggers, they called it. So, guess who stepped up? Me. I dropped out of university after year 2. My course, mass communication, suddenly seemed like a luxury I couldn't afford. I started managing dad's rental units, doing school runs for Korede, arranging drugs, helping him bath, even learning how to clean out his bed sores when the nurses didn't show up. I became a shadow of myself. People called me strong. What they really meant was sacrificial. Then, as if life hadn't stolen enough from me, it came for the rest. I was in the traffic on Ikorodu Road when I got the call. My parents had been on their way to inspect a new property site outside Ibadan. The driver slept off. They ran under a trailer. There were no survivors. Just like that. Gone. I remember sitting on the roadside, staring at my ringing phone. My mother's name still glowing on the screen. Calls from the hospital. Calls from the police. Calls from extended family. But none. None from the people I needed most. The funeral came and went in a blur. I shook hands I didn't recognize. Smelled perfumes I didn't inhale in years. Everyone kept saying the same thing. Tami, you are so strong. You will be fine. Tami, your father left so much for you. You will be okay. Tami, don't cry. Be a man. Okay. But no one told me how to be a 26-year-old man with a dying brother, no parents, and a heart full of questions no one could answer. Then came the family war. Barely a week after we buried them, my father's brothers came knocking. 3 uncles, 2 aunts, all in Agbada and Gele, smiling, pretending to care, until they brought out the documents. Apparently, Dad didn't leave a will. They claimed the house belonged to their family, the cars, community property, the company. Tami, we just want to help you manage it until you are ready. They even tried to evict me, the first son, the firstborn. But I didn't fight. I didn't shout. I did not argue. I safely walked back into the house, locked the door, and sat beside Korede's bed. Because the truth was, I didn't care anymore. Some nights, I watched Korede struggle to breathe and wondered who would die first, him or me. Other nights, I googled how to write a suicide note, but I never went through with it. Something always held me back. A voice, a memory, or may- maybe it was the fear that no one would bury me properly. Even in death, I would be forgotten. Then came the call that changed everything. It was from my father's lawyer, a man named Barrister Adebayo. He sounded nervous, hesitant. Mr. Oluwatamilore, there's something you need to see, he said. Your father left a document in my possession, sealed. It's addressed to you only. I asked what was inside. He paused for a long time, and then he said something that shook me to my core. Your father, he wasn't the man you thought he was. Tami, there are things in that letter that could destroy everything you believed about your family. I stood in that silence for minutes. The room suddenly felt colder. Korede coughed beside me, weak, fragile, fading, and I was at a crossroads. Everything I thought I knew, everything I had suffered for, fought for, endured, was now hanging by a thread. I didn't know what was coming next, but I knew one thing for sure. I wasn't ready.